Hello.
Hello, Catarina.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Fine, just fine.
Yeah.
Actually, it has been a while since we met. I actually saw your presentation last time or it was a teaser in
The
Nukke
3-minute
Museo.
presentation that I over. Yes,
Yeah.
with
So,
Taike.
sorry?
It was with Taike.
Yes, it was with Taike.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that after that quite many times. I'm thinking about how I could use that, and it was very, very good. Even though it was short, I'm sure
Yes.
there's plenty things, other things that we didn't feel or realize behind
Yes.
the whole service that you have. But it was very interesting concept, and that's why I'm trying to understand and learn more about it now.
Okay.
And also I'm having a project at Kook at the moment where I'm trying to understand what are the things that are slowing down companies of using services that we can offer through the whole Finland. There's many professional people understanding that how to utilize art or creative methods to organization development or team development, or there are so many application areas. But my understanding in many customer situations that I've been talking with the companies that they still lack of understanding what's going on, and also if decision maker don't have a history behind of creating any type of creative methods. For example, the only creative thing that they have, sometimes they go to hockey games every week, or they play chess or whatever. So it's good that people have a different type of cultural areas as a hobbies in order to learn more, but there is still so many things that creative methods can give. So I'm happy to have you here as a discussion partner now.
Thank you.
I would like to hear more about your story first of all. Even though we don't have hours of time, you have years of experience, but let's focus on what are your experiences working with the companies, and also about what success has been there, and what challenges you have realized that companies might have in order to use your services. But first, I'd like to, if you could tell a little bit about you and your company. Who are you? Where are you located, and what do you do?
Well, we are very focused in Finland now, but we are new here. So this is a kind of Markus was also away for so many years, so he's quite new in Finland, although he's Finnish in a way. Yeah. So there is that. This is a minus that we feel, that we are still not known. People don't know us here. So, yeah. But what we are doing here in Finland is we have been contacting different companies, and and sometimes through something we get to know somebody and talking. what we have not done yet, and I think this has been what has been slowing us down, is to not have created like a one product. We have been going on the very much on the thing of like we talk and we see what people need and we do it, you know.
Yes.
But that we believe that is slowing us down because people don't know us. We have to make almost like a bigger effort to tell them, hey, we can really do something. We can really help you here. But that has been, I think, the challenge for us because we have been very flexible. We have been doing really like many different types of processes with people, from tackling something in the well-being area to the trying to solve some team conflicts, to, you know, like we have been here, there, and so where we are at the moment is in this, where is our product, our service, the best fitting, you know, because it's true that there is many paths we can take. We can do a lot with it, but at least to the public, we have to decide one. It seems that if you have too much, it creates too much of a confusion.
Yes.
And I would maybe,
one question. I think that the challenge with everybody is the lack of awareness, because we are working on the area in Finland which is not so commonly known, and sometimes in certain areas in Finland comes a little bit behind over other countries. Even though I have to say that when we are using creative methods in organizational development, we are not far behind from the top area of Europe. But there are certain type of companies that are used to use creative methods as a development tool. So the lack of awareness is probably one of the biggest challenges, but also, as you mentioned, the missing of a product or service or package. It's very important, and not only for you, but also for the buyer's perspective. Everything that you can do to lower the step of taking the first purchase order in, that you have to do, and missing one good package is one of those that when you have that in understandable format, it's easier to buy.
Yes. We kind of, in our service, we already understood a few things. What, for example, we understood that one of the great pluses of what we do is that people feel something. People really feel something, and they feel something in a very almost impersonal way, that there is no stories attached. You don't feel confronted that you have to do something, but you will still feel something. And that is like the key for then a conversation, for a story that we create all together, you know. But in a very impersonal way, that people don't get that kind of resistance, like I'm not creative, or I don't, you know. So this is a great plus with what we do. That it's kind of, people feel, you know, they don't feel confronted at the start. So
yes.
that's a good thing.
Yes.
But again, the application of it, we can use, like I said, we can use for if you are looking for ways for your employees to be more engaged, and more capacity to be more present can be used, is great for that. Almost every person that tries says that. It's great also for conflict. For example, I actually, it was the first time that I did it alone without Marcus, but bringing the tools. and that was quite interesting too, that it was a conflict happening in the team, or they were not sure what was really happening. They just knew that there was a bad atmosphere, and they couldn't say what it was. They were feeling overwhelmed and not really understanding. And the board contacted me because I speak English and Spanish. So because because I can speak other languages than Finnish. This was the main reason, to be honest, the first contact.
Yes.
And the board contacted me saying, there is bad atmosphere here. We don't get what it is. Can you take our employees and try to figure out what is happening? So they had a problem that they would like to be like quite short, because they take care of other people. So the employees not being there, they had to substitute, and it was a kind of like a logistic thing. But we brought the employees together, and by using our tools, our methods, with the sounds and the story and everything, it was so interesting that in 2.5 days they understood so many things and changed some other things, until the point that we realized that one sometimes thinks that there is no space, or that you cannot open like the boxes because then will come a monster or something. But sometimes the monster is just inside of your head, and if you sit and you take 10 minutes, it doesn't take too much. So they realized, by what we did, they realized that they were overworked. They realized that they were not communicating, with the fear that the conversation would be too much and would make things even worse. And they also realized that they were not understanding the board decisions and things. So they kind of understood that they were together, that they all had a view of what was happening that was valid. So it was kind of very interesting. Then the interesting part was that the board didn't consider important to join the conversation. So that was a kind of an interesting thing. And then, so I found that quite interesting. After some time, I talked to them. They said that they are more organized. The schedules and the responsibilities are much better. But the board, after that, asked me if I could again come to do something with the employees, but not wanting to be part again. So it was kind of like an interesting situation. But what I want to say is that this the way we, you can really use also for conflict management, and because people realize that everybody listens the same of what we give them to listen. Everybody listens the same, but everybody has a very unique experience, and they really understand how much that is true for the rest of life, that they all have a different point of view, and they can give space for listening truly to each other. And they also realize that it doesn't take too much time or space if you just decide, okay, I will listen.
Yeah. Yes.
To each other, and that's quite interesting. And then the creative part, what do you do? Like, because we use, what do you do with this? What do you do with your experience to create something different, new, or sometimes abstract? What do you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Many questions came to my mind. Let's see. It was I'm thinking about the board. As you said, it's very interesting that the board, as a purchase buyer, didn't participate, but there must be a reason for that, and also maybe there's a time when they will participate.
Yes,
maybe the situation was like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are talking about that, they are the team members are listening something in your workshop, what they are listening is more like sounds, beautiful sounds that bring the memories, and maybe also walk you through the certain story without speaking, and the story comes in their own mind, what's happening here.
Yes, it's not necessarily beautiful sounds. It's sounds. It's a composition of sounds and music.
Yeah.
That takes you into a journey, but that you don't have the images, like you don't have visuals in order for you to create your own movie in a way. But we don't even tell people. We just tell them, like, be curious about yourself. Like, what happens to you when you listen to these sounds? We don't tell them that, see the images, or you have to then tell a story. We don't say anything. We just tell them, just be curious about what happens to you when you are listening to this sound journey. Okay. And that is kind of the sounds. I wanted to say, the thing with the sounds is that because it's intentional, the composition, and what we realized is that having this layering of sounds makes that our cognitive defenses cannot keep up all the time. So comes a time that your mind really starts wandering. You can start in the beginning by thinking in your to-dos and and you can even judge the quality of the music or whatever. You can go into this kind of things, analytical, but comes a point that your mind starts wandering, and this is what we want. This is the creative moments. This is the moments that you rest, that you give this break to the prefrontal cortex. So this is on purpose. We know that this happens, and this is what we want people to experience. And this can be as short as 2 minutes. Really, it's incredible.
Okay. But isn't it so that you have also academic theory behind all this?
Yes. Because we started realizing, like, the incredible results, and we were, the compositions of Marcus came from his creative, artistic self, let's say. But then we start realizing that this is amazing what is happening here, and we went into really exploring it deeper. What is the effects? We collected feedback from over 2,000 people already. We have it, and that's kind of, we started also seeing what is exactly doing. And one of the things is this creating this space in the head. It really rejuvenates your brain, your thinking brain, your prefrontal cortex. The other big thing is the emotions. People feel things without the biggest thing here that I always say is that without the need of a story attached. So, and this is a big thing because we are emotional beings. And one of the things, according, for example, to the Turku University, one of the things that creates big tension and stress is the holding back of emotions. And we hold back emotions because we don't want people to see that we are sad because somebody in our family or whatever. And there is always a story that you are trying not to show, or then there is a story that sometimes is not even the true reason for your emotion, but you are so used to think that thought about that emotion that you think that that's what's happening. So it's kind of, yeah, the big thing that we bring here is that people feel something without the need of having a story attached. Yeah. So they go through a journey and they feel emotions, and they don't have the weight of their own story or of their real, and this is a big thing for the nervous system, for themselves too. If you can do this every day or a few times a week, that you can feel something without the need of being exposed to somebody or without the need of going through your story in your head, it's a big thing.
Yes.
So this, and the other thing is that we don't use just beautiful soothing sounds because of life is not just beautiful and soothing, and we believe more in training the nervous system. So the nervous system is dynamic, and what happens to most of us today is that we get locked into one, let's say, position of the nervous system. We get trapped and we lose the dynamism. And sometimes the way for us to get back into some movement again is you need kind of like a shock sometimes, or you need to be met where you are, and everybody is different. So we do this in this way that your nervous system it will be constantly kind of challenged, but in a safe space. You feel safe.
Yes.
You feel that you can go through it. Yes. And sometimes even happens that some people, if there is something traumatic, it happens always. There is some people that always have something, and that something comes up in this way. And I love when people say, I know that I'm here, I know that I'm safe, this is not happening, but still my body reacted as if I was in water, and I don't know. But they could do And I always ask, and how did you solve that during the journey? How did you, and they always find a way. And we already have had people writing saying that now they have been in water and feel more comfortable. So it's kind of like there is these pieces, all these pieces behind that we love to talk and explain, but that we usually actually don't talk so much about it. Sometimes inside of the work, inside of the group, we tell people, because sometimes it's good when we understand what is happening.
Yes.
And sometimes we tell them.
So,
but usually it's not what we,
Yes, I understand. So you mentioned very important word, safe environment. Yes. And I assume that that's one of the keys why this method can be so effective, because they are in a safe environment. Either they are physically there at your how do you call that, headquarter,
yes,
in your house, or if they are not there, are you also taking your services to certain company space?
We are.
Sorry?
Arto, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
We are also going. I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, very good. Did you hear my question, that are you also taking your service to the company premises?
Yes, we actually never had people here. We always go to the company.
Oh, really? Okay.
So far has been, but we are opening that now. We are wanting to call to say, hey, you can, but so far has been always going.
Okay.
Well, it also happened that even renting spaces in Helsinki has also happened.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
But the safe space, that's another thing, that there's two components here in the safe. One is the facilitator, and the other one is actually the sounds, the sound journey, and that those are very important, those two, because sound the sound journey really creates a world, creates really a journey, and that creates a space, and most of the people feel safe in it and feel completely immersed in it.
Okay.
And but also sometimes happen that some people find it challenging, the sound journey. But what is important is that the facilitator, that they trust the facilitator all the way through.
Yes.
That's really important. And I have had many, not many, but quite a few already, people coming to me and saying like, wow, how did you take this so far? I wouldn't have the courage to and this is something that we as facilitators have to understand, that we just can take people as far as we can go, and we shouldn't ever risk to go further than we can ourselves, because then people don't feel safe. And the process sometimes collapses, and it's just because we are not aware sometimes of where what is our limit, or
yes. Very interesting. How do you see, can your service be used also in company strategic work, when they are building new strategy for the future, could it be used there?
Yes, very much. With this sound journeys, we can, the fact that you gain thinking capacity, you access creativity in a very almost like unnoticeable way. You don't even notice, almost. You don't make an effortless way. In a way, it helps a lot. And also sometimes we didn't do that in a company context, but we did that in a context of like, let's say, end customer. I don't know how to say, but like with normal people. So we used it as, you can also use the sound journeys with an aim, to have an aim, and sometimes you can guide, depends on the aim of what you are doing. So what we've done, it was guided, and we were kind of understanding the future, and from the angle of what do I want, and also from the angle of what do I perceive that is possible, that is coming, and and understanding in that specific work that I'm now recalling is we were also doing like what is from where I'm coming from, what is that I'm bringing already that can help me to go where I'm seeing that, or I'm wanting to go, and what is my best option. So it was very interesting and helpful. We never did it with companies, though. We were never asked for that, but with individuals, normal individuals, was very
very interesting.
Yeah, it has this flexibility, we can, because the it's kind of like, the ingredients, and then the way you use them is about creativity again. Like, we know what does it do, this tool, this main tool that we have, and then we know how to use. It's like, you can fry potatoes, you can boil potatoes, you can mash potatoes. It's like
yes. I was thinking about your own background. What was your basic training in, or what have you studied?
Well, I kind of I started with economy, then I studied social work, then I've been long time in research in gender studies and these areas, feminism, and then I went to the somatic education, somatic world, spent there many years, and started working with individuals one-on-one. So this was 2010 when I started working with individuals one-on-one, started working with groups in like the academic ways. I stopped being so academic and working more like hands-on in a way. And then what did I do more? Then I did a lot of also physical theater, a lot of improvisation, like movement, things, and then but honestly, Arto, the biggest school was in the working with people.
Yes.
That is like,
yes.
You know, and I'm working already. I started working in 2003 with people.
Yeah.
And I was my first work was, I didn't say this. This was So I started in social work in psychiatry and mental health. So that's my main background, and then started all the other kind of things.
Very interesting. Lots of experience.
Yeah. I'm interested in people and curious, so I kind of, interested in doing this and that,
and that's very important when you are facilitating such work groups or.
Yes.
Yeah. Very good. In the beginning, you mentioned these two things that are a little bit slowing down the possibilities of doing sales. I would assume that awareness is the biggest challenge.
Yes, we are not, how to say, like, or at least that has been what people have been advising us or telling us, that that's what we have to do somehow. That is this kind of defining the service, the product, the package, the whatever, like, and yeah. So the thing is, like, how to say, it's because of the flexibility of what we have. It feels that it would be easier to talk about it as I explained to you, as what more or less you can get from this point of view. But then people don't understand the application of it. Okay, I gain more space, more thinking space. I'm a bit more light because I have digested some emotions, whatever, more energy, But how does that translate then in what you can do to me? And it's like, one is, okay, we can go that route, maybe that is what people immediately assume, that is well-being. But it can go much further than that,
Yes.
And that's the challenge of how to convey that, how to make them understand that you can go further.
Yes. I'm seeing, well, I just realized we have spent quite a lot of time already, but just a few points. I have learned that in many companies, the management or the board or the employees that has been in that particular company many years, they create altogether the company culture, what to talk, what to do. And certain areas don't belong to that area. And as you mentioned, feelings is sometimes one of those areas. I would assume that if company would use your services, they would have a possibility to open the discussion in an emotional level. And that way they could learn and easily change many unwritten things that are in the culture.
Yes, that's exactly what happened with the example that I was telling you. Yes. They were so afraid of talking because they thought that would even make it worse. And then they realized that actually made it, everybody went out feeling lighter and happier. Yeah.
Yes. Very.
Yeah, definitely.
That's and I would also assume, please correct if I'm wrong, but I would assume that by doing this type of application to company, the method in your service, the method is sounds, and possibly the discussion and the facilitation. It might work well in many companies, but in some companies, other methods might work better due to their company structure or the culture that they have. Would you agree on that? Or is it so that
we also
it
have
doesn't really matter?
You know, listening always matter. Always in any company, in anybody's life. This is a listening experience. You know, it's nothing else. It's a listening experience, and when you understand that, you understand the importance of it. And this again, you know, it's this experience, but you are training so many things within this experience. You are training truly being present to listen. You are training to self-awareness. You are training to look at yourself, to what is happening inside of you during the experience. And all of these things are you then bring out, you know, and especially if you repeat, that is the way we learn. If you repeat with repetition, it really becomes a reality, you know. You then bring that same attitude out, and you go to the meetings and you talk to your colleague in the corridor, and you will be there present, listening, you know, for example. So I didn't yet meet any situation or company that it didn't make sense in that way. We can also many times make it shorter, make it, you know, and we always adapt the things if it's this or that. You know, like there's people that it feels maybe it's not the first thing we do. There's people that can be like too much to go now to be sitting together and close the eyes, or so we kind of use sense. That's why then the facilitator is so important. And you see how you can do it. So far, I haven't had any, let's say, bad experience that people saying, yeah, you know, or yeah.
Very good. And again, a new question. I would also assume that when you are building your service, it's not meant to be one type of workshop. I would assume that the best effect would be if the company would have 3 or 4 experiences or workshops like that in order to really open new things and make it last, the effect that these workshops can have.
Yes, what we are thinking now is to develop a kind of a product that companies could use without us, in a way. So that we develop like a guidance in a way, and that people understand how they should use the product in order to get the benefits. That's what we are looking for. And then there is also this part that we also wish to continue, that is this process work, we go, that there is this external facilitator figure that usually is me, that is there also to help going through something that the
Yes.
company is needing.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I told you before, like we are going anywhere in Finland.
Yeah.
It's really like
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting approach, having such a mini workshops that companies could use by themselves.
Yes. Yeah, to have exactly that they can, because if the employees are feeling better, if they have a moment, this is like going to smoke a cigarette or going to have a talk with, I don't know, like something, or going to the Facebook for some time or something. And instead of that, if you would go and have a little moment for yourself through this, and gain the same or even more energy back, more motivation, more,
Yeah.
that could be quite helpful in many ways.
I'm sure that it would be very helpful for many team members in companies.
Yes.
Because there's always a need for a short moment.
Exactly.
In a very, very hectic world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yes.
At this point, I don't have any other questions.
Nice.
But I have to thank you very much for your time. It was very, very helpful, and now I understand, first of all, more about your service, and also challenges that you are having with the service.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that having the first very well packaged service as a trial, try that on the market, and if not working, change very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Myself, I have very good experiences of different kind of surveys, face-to-face meetings, discussions with the customers to understand what the market really needs. Because
what do you believe that the market needs now from this?
I believe that if we are talking about the market within a business market, the companies,
yes,
I think that more advanced companies today, which I consider to be like a best place to work in Finland, to type of companies, they really have a focus on employees and also to the organization and also to the future. They are already talking about things that we are talking now. So that's the easiest way, and that's the quickest way to benchmark what they need. But so they don't really need training. They need understanding of awareness. What is available, what can be done, and what type of tools there is at the moment. And then the other part of the companies that don't consider these as a development tools yet, they need training. And one training is like having a free workshops or demonstrations. One training is to understand, to explaining the theory behind of the service. One is customer testimonials, a general raising the awareness of such services is also what is needed, especially on those companies that don't work in this area yet. I think also that the funny thing is we have extremely good human resource professional people in Finland, very, very good. There's hundreds of HR people that understand the importance of highly effective working teams, and also the well-being of human in the team is important. But currently many of them they have not learned these creative methods yet. That's also one considered third area that I think that needs to be focused, because these people are the ones that have a need of team development, because these HR people are talking with board, they are talking with management, they understand the management need, and they can offer the tools.
Yes, that was exactly what happened with the example I was giving you. The HR was between and contacted me for the employees, told the board that was maybe good to come together, and the board was no. But the HR in a way understands the work. Yeah.
Also having a trainings to the middle management, because before they are talking with the HR, it would be important to understand the situation in the team or in that organizational level, that they would consider themselves also to use services like you have. I think HR is not always necessarily needed, and in some companies HR is same as financial director, which is sometimes it's working, and sometimes the focus goes to the finance area.
Yes.
But I think these are areas that needs to be developed, and the project that my company is doing at the moment is mainly related how to use these type of services in the sales development, which is because the sales is very emotional tunnelaji, emotional way of working, because if you are not excited, you will not make the sale. But if you are excited and confronted yourself, and you understand why you are acting what you do, and also explain and meet customers, etc., especially when you are in a problem solving services area where you are selling like IT services or new type of B2B type of services. I think sales area is also very important.
Definitely.
Because they are working with the tools that have been developed in 70s and 80s at the moment, and the sales processes. Of course, there are many new, very technical based sales methods that you can do with the digital workflows and etc. But overall, the sales is human to human type of business. And this type of methods could be used when developing creativity or emotions or problem solving or critical thinking or this.
This is quite interesting, because what we also talk a lot is that we realize is that our work, it's always finding the blind spot, because you, like in a company, you need to understand what is the blind spot, and what people many times don't realize is that the blind spot is in them. It's not just in the company, like the company is a reflection of them. It's not that there is something there. And when they realize what are the reasons, what is it, because the listening is again this very important skill, because you have to learn to listen yourself too.
Yes, exactly.
And by learning to listen yourself, you find the blind spot, and then you find what is there. And so this is kind of interesting what you were describing now, because we talk a lot sometimes about this idea of the blind spot, and we see that our work always brings this blind spot out. Yeah,
and by having workshops like yours, you have a moment to learn more about yourself.
Yes.
And it's very important to learn your blind spots, so to speak, because that's the way, when you realize those, you can start developing those.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, very much so. Well, interesting. And what will you will then have, like a report? Will you write something about what you are learning?
Yes, I will. I will create outcome from it. Probably some kind of presentation. Possibly I'm doing a webinar about it.
Okay.
But yeah, the target is to have some kind of outcome.
Okay, nice.
And the focus will be in the sales development.
Nice.
And that's the, because I think that one very good thing is that we are talking a lot. There's a tendency in Finland, we are talking about organizational development. And for some people, it doesn't mean a thing. But when you are talking about how to develop R&D area, how to develop sales, it's easier to understand for the buying customer that, I could be using that. There is a service for me, is for my team, and that's the easiest way of doing sales. When the customer understands that this is meant to be for me, and this facilitator might be understanding what is the need of sales.
Yes.
But as you mentioned about how we can work with potatoes, the basic rule also applies here. But it's also very important to understand the special needs that target group has.
Yes.
And the sales is, of course, depending on the company, depending on the sales, what you are doing. But it's sometimes it's very easy, but sometimes it's extremely challenging when you are meeting with a totally different type of people that you are yourself.
Yes.
And there you have to have an understanding why I am acting like I am acting, and why this other guy is acting like he or she is acting.
Yes. Yes.
But I see that in Finland we are moving to the right direction. There's luckily there is other companies also that talk and preach the same thing that we are doing now.
Nice.
So the movement sort of, or understanding of humanity is rising in a business world as well.
It's true. Yeah. Do you have some companies that come to mind, like that are talking about these things here in Finland that are good too?
Yes, there is all the companies that are talking about tunneäly,
Okay.
emotions,
Okay.
those, and I would say that there's about 5 to 10 companies, but they are not the biggest ones. They are not the shiniest brands, and
Okay.
that's very interesting. That these small under 10 people employing people or companies, they are making a good voice on the market.
Nice.
So I think that. But let me get back to you on the which companies.
Okay.
There's
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe just one more thing, Arto. Yeah. Is it possible to get the recording too?
Yes. This is for you.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was really a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, same here. I think that we would have hours to talk, many topics. But in a way, it's good that we had this moment, and thank you again for your time and your expertise as well. I really understand your service a lot better now, and I see also there are many applications. It's very good. There's no other company. Well, there are many companies that are doing similar things like you are, but they are on the consumer level working companies.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a good approach for the companies,
mm-hmm.
it's very interesting and also unique.
Mm-hmm.
And you should make companies aware of your uniqueness.
Yes, we are in that work.
Yeah.
Trying to make it like that people get to know us, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
But thank you again.
Thank you, Art.
I wish you a pleasant rest of the day, and I wish to talk to you later again.
Yes, let's do that. It was also a good experience for me.
Thank you.
Have a good day.